So, you've translated your book into German, and now you're wondering about distribution.
In this episode, we'll explain how to do that in Germany. We'll share our personal experience and recommend our favorite services.
So stay tuned for some insider information.
Hi, we are Andrea and Freya, and we are on our way to become international best-selling authors.
And we are here to take you along for the ride.
And in this season, our very first season of this podcast, we'll take you with us into the German market. And today, this is all about distribution.
So basically, we talk about how to get your books in whatever form, print, ebook, audiobook, into the hands of your readers. So how do you do that?
Let's start with print. There's a very important point about German print books you have to know, which is you need an ISBN, which is like the ident number. What do you say?
Or a serial number, I guess. You know, you have this very unique number, which makes your book identifiable in the entire world, I think, or whatever.
What's so important about this number is that German book retailers and other stores that sell books, they need this number to order your book from the Verzeichnis lieferbarer Bücher, which is in English, Freya?
Well, it's basically an index of all the books that are possibly being shipped, to retailers, local bookstores, or even, big sellers of, they collect basically books. And so in order for your print book to be sold in Germany, so it needs to be numbered, or it needs to have a certain number. It needs to be listed in that index, and this is what the ISBN is for. And so this is something, it's a must-have. So before you think about a print book or how to distribute it in Germany, you need to think about getting an ISBN for your book.
This is true for almost every online retailer and for each and every offline retailer.
Except for Amazon. As you know, you can publish print books also via Amazon. But the thing is, they are not being published with an ISBN. And this is the very reason, as we talked about in the last episode, why local bookstores, for instance, are not going to display titles that are published via Amazon. Because they are not listed in the Verzeichnis lieferbarer Bücher, the index that I before mentioned. And so this is the reason why they are not being able to be displayed. So if you want to go for books that are going to be distributed as normal books in Germany are, you would need to have an ISBN and not do the Amazon route.
Because via Amazon you get that ASIN, which is a kind of a serial number as well, but it's not listed on that index of deliverable books.
Oh, I love that. That's much better
that's
than
actually
my
the
try.
word-by-word translation. We could just ask ChatGPT, which I'm going to do. Let me ask.
Right now?
Yes, right now I'm on ChatGPT.
Oh my God. You make me look
you're
bad.
live with me on ChatGPT. Translate Verzeichnis lieferbarer Bücher into English.
Isn't that a beautiful long German word? I love it.
It's not a word, it's 3 words, by the way. And
But
I wrote
three
I
pretty long
translate.
words.
Maybe Verzeichnis lieferbarer Bücher translates to directory of available books. Okay, that's slightly different.
But you get the point, right? So it's a list of books, basically, that can be delivered within
Yes.
Germany. Print books. Only print books. And this is really important because, when you advertise your print books to local bookstores or to franchises, it's really important that you can be able to say that it is listed in that directorial, right? So this is something we would absolutely highly recommend, to get an ISBN number, and yeah.
Because a lot of German readers, they still love going to the bookstore and buy books there, and they actually order their books directly there. So they don't order the books via any online platform, but in their local bookstore. And
I do that. I love that.
Yes, me too. Okay, but there are other print-on-demand services, because the beauty of KDP is that you can print your book on demand. And but we have services in Germany that offer you, or that give you a ISBN for free, and that's what Freya is going to talk about.
Yeah, so I think the biggest service that you can use in Germany to basically publish or distribute your books via print on demand is Books on Demand. They have been doing this for they were the first ones to do this in the German market. You also have ePubli, which is also affiliated with NeoPubli. And so this is actually pretty easy. You have an online tool and you upload your manuscript, and they tell you all about the book format and everything. And then you basically upload your PDF with your book, and then the PDF with your cover design. And then they add everything else. Like, for instance, the barcode is actually something that you have to add yourself, but it's pretty easy because you can download the barcode, which contains your ISBN. And then you basically hit on publish, and then you publish your book. It's a very, very easy process. And then you publish a book, a print book via BOD, and then the book is automatically listed in the directorial and can be ordered by any local bookstore or Amazon or all the other retailers you have online. And ePubli is basically operating in a very similar way. I have worked with both before, and I would always, if you go for a print-on-demand service, I would always go with Books on Demand, because the quality of the print books that they offer is much higher than with ePubli. The reason is ePubli prints a lot of its books not overseas, but not in Germany, but in other countries, and they use different printing companies, which are not as the quality can very much differ. So you may order a book and the quality differs a lot from the book that you have ordered before, which really sucks. And the Books on Demand, actually, they have their own printing company, and they print very, very beautiful, nice books of a quality that cannot be distinguished between a traditionally published book and an indie published book. Actually, a lot of publishing houses in Germany use Books on Demand and their printing services to print their own books. So you have really publishing house quality if you go with them. And they basically do everything for you. So if you publish with them, you publish everywhere in a very traditional, recommendable way, I guess. And yeah, so this is a service that I use currently, actually.
But one thing about BOD is that they take a lot of rights from you. So that is, for instance, the printing rights.
That's
so
true.
You're not allowed to print. You're not allowed to print your book in that format. Like when you publish your book as a hardcover via BOD, then you cannot print it with like an independent printing service or something, and you cannot publish it anywhere else in that format, just in another format like a hardcover or something. And another rights they are taking from you is the audiobook rights. So they're actually allowed to just take your manuscript, and I just read the contract again because I just canceled it, by the way. Because they are taking the right to put your books into spoken words in any possibility, for instance audiobooks, but they can also take your book and read it in front of like a bunch of people, or use parts of it for whatever they want to, for advertising, or I don't know. They just have these rights when you sign the contract, and I think that's a bummer for me.
That's true, but just, so first of all, this is actually pretty standard practice, as I have learned, that even with publishing houses, if you sign away the rights to your books,
Yeah, with publishing houses, of course, but not with
It is,
print on
yeah,
demand.
but it's the contract is based on publishing house contracts. So this is very much standard practice, actually. But the thing is, I have done that. I think you have done that too. Well, first of all, in order for that contract to actually have some consequences for you, they would have to prove that they are, for instance, planning on distributing your book in a certain way. And since they usually don't do that, it's actually sufficient if you write them an email and are like, I would like my audiobooks rights back because I have plans to publish them as an audiobook. And in the past, they have just granted them back because they have no interest holding on to those rights. I don't know about now though, but we come to that, I think, when we get to the audiobook section.
Yes, we come to that because they changed something, and that could just change this practice. But there's one point in Germany you can consider after 2 years when a company doesn't use the rights they've taken from you. You can you can get them.
They automatically actually fall back to you. You are the author, so you have some rights that cannot be taken away from you, and those rights basically fall back to your position. So, so I have had no trouble with this kind of contract in the past, and I don't know any author who has. So, this is something.
But considering you have a very popular book, this could be a problem, actually.
Yeah. Which is, I think, the reason.
Because then they want to make money.
Which is, I think, the reason why, and now I'm going to transition, Andrea is not working with books on demand as I am, because her books are more popular and more in danger, yes. I guess. And you are taking a different route for distributing your print books.
Well, the main reason why I don't work with BOD anymore, I used to for 2 books I did. Now I have 23 out there. But I think that it's just mean that you cannot print your book anywhere else, because the prices for samples or for books you order on your own for your own use, like on readings or just to sell on your own online store. You basically pay the same amount of money. It's really expensive as a customer would. And what I don't get about this, when they sell a book to a local bookstore, when a local bookstore orders a book from them, there's a big discount for them. So why doesn't the author get that discount? It doesn't make sense.
It's smarter financially to order your books via the online store for you as an author than to.
Yes, because then you get the margins.
But let's not go too deep into books on demand, because they are not without fault. But
so last year the ebook distribution service from Thalia, which is a really big store chain, bookstore chain in Germany. They just
it's kind of like Barnes and Noble in Germany. Yeah, Thalia is like your go-to bookstore.
That's a good comparison. And they just started to they just started a print on demand service themselves, and the author samples, they're as expensive as with BOD, but they don't take the printing rights and they don't take the audiobook rights. So you can print your own books via an independent printing service to sell them direct wherever you want to, and you don't have the trouble of wondering or being afraid that they might publish or use your book for whatever audio reason they could. But then again, I actually don't know if that's true for the whole world. It probably is, but paper prices have just risen to the sky in Germany.
Yes,
and Tolino, they just adjusted the prices for already published books, and so
that sucks.
That sucks. And so I just took all my books away from Tolino, which I had published there for print on demand, because I would have had to raise the prices. I think it was freeware from $11.99 to $13.99, and for the hardcover books, it would have been something like from $20.99 to $25.99. So it would have been huge, and then you have this perspective of, well, what when the paper prices rise again, and you have to, and that's just, you know. What I do print runs, and I work with Nova MD. Nova MD is, as far as I know, the only distributor where you can put your books into their storage, and they give you an ISBN as well, and they list your books on the, what was it? The directory of available books, the VLB, the Verzeichnis lieferbarer Bücher. That's your word for today. It's your German word. No, it's Buchpreis.
That's actually 3 words.
It's 3 words. Verzeichnis lieferbarer Bücher.
You're doing great today.
We'll put that into the show notes, as well as the all the links to all the services we're just explaining here. And Nova MD has its disadvantages as well, but for me, it's the only service that lets me design and lay out my books the way I want to do it, and price the books the way I want to do it, and choose the printing service I want to choose, and it's
really popular among self-publishers. And
yes,
I know
and among small publishing companies as well. So a lot of small, not that small actually. A lot of publishing publishers, they use Nova as well. So, but you have the disadvantage of paying for printing the books in uphand, before they're sold, and that sucks.
Yeah, and you actually have a lot of risk, because you might not know how well your book is going to sell, which is the reason, for instance, why I am still doing the print-on-demand services, because I would have no idea how big I should make a print run. And so I think if you're starting out, this is basically a decision you have to make. Do you do a print run like Andrea does, or do you use a print-on-demand service? And there are your ups and downs, I guess, like with everything.
Okay, so to sum that up, in Germany, you need an ISBN to get your books into local bookstores and to other online platforms, except from Amazon. And as in every other country, you can or not every other country, but as probably in your country, you can publish a book for print on demand via KDP, but we don't recommend that.
Yeah, and basically you have to, make a decision whether you want to go print on demand or if you want to do a book run. You can. It's basically your choice, and there are some very good services available, but you really have to. You have to consider a few things, so because they are not without their faults, and so I guess that's it. It's like the most important part.
And we promised recommendations. So I do recommend for people starting out, I still recommend Tolino, because you keep all the rights, and actually the danger of rising book prices, I think you have that everywhere. And I would go with Tolino when I was just starting out. But when you have the money, I would probably go with Nova MD with a print run.
But I can also recommend books on demand, because yes, like we discussed, they are not without their faults. But first of all, the people there are really, really nice, which is also a huge plus in my book. And also, they are printing locally. They are printing environmentally conscious, and the books have a very, very good quality to them. And so, if you're looking for a service that assures you basically publishing house quality, you can use their tools, and it's pretty easy to use. And this is also a good way to start out, basically, but not without fault, like we mentioned.
Okay, we actually just recorded a 45 45-minute episode about distributing a book as a print book, as an ebook, and as an audiobook, but we realized this is way too long. So we decided to split this episode into 3, which means we end this one here and get to the distribution of ebooks in the next episode.
Exactly. So if you want to know how to distribute ebooks and audiobooks in Germany, look forward to the next 2 episodes, because we are going to talk about them. It's kind of weird because, we have already talked about them. And now we're kind of, telling people that something is happening in the future that has already happened in the past. So it's really back to the future, like right here. And I love that.
And if you have any questions about the print books, just email us or write a comment on Instagram or wherever you found this. Just let us know if there's anything in the open that you'd like to know.
We will be happy to answer and to tell you everything we know.
And we're happy that you listened until this point of this episode. And we're looking forward to see you. And we have actually something to announce, right, Freya? Did we announce that already? Or we can announce it again. Because we'll be on the London Book Fair.
That's true. Oh
in
my
April
God. That's
2023.
So true.
And we want to meet you. We want to meet you there. We want to talk to people, to authors, to editors, to just like everybody from the English book world, basically.
So if you're in London, if you go to the book fair, and if you can't wait to meet us, like we can't wait to meet you, so please let us know. Leave us a comment, write us a message.
Let's meet.
So we are absolutely thrilled
Amazed
to enter the international world with you, and let's meet.
And we're amazed to go to London. And for that, this episode won't get to 45 minutes. We just end this now and wish you an amazing day, night, whenever you listen to this.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, Freya and
Andrea.